11 huge PS5 reveals just dropped at Summer Game Fest. And let me be honest with you, some are incredible and some are just flashy nonsense. No hype, no lies. Just the truth about what's actually worth your time and your money. Stick around, because number one already had me yelling at my screen. Okay, let's talk about Resident Evil Veronica. And right away, I need you to calm down, because yes, this is exciting. Capcom is rebuilding one of the OLD Resident Evil games from the ground up. The original was called Code Veronica, and grown-up gamers have been begging for this remake for years. Years! So when the lights went dark at Summer Game Fest, and that creepy music started, and then boom, the title showed up, the whole crowd lost their minds, and I get it, I really do. But here's where I put on my grumpy hat. This game isn't coming out until 2027. 2027! That's a long time to wait, and a long time to show us a trailer with basically no actual gameplay. Sound familiar? It should. We've seen this trick 100 times. A spooky teaser, a famous name, and a release date that's super far away. Now, do I think Capcom can pull it off? Honestly, probably. Their recent remakes have been really, really good. The scares work. The monsters look nasty. So I'm cautiously hopeful, but I'm not pre-ordering anything. Not yet. Let them show us the game first. Then we'll talk. Deal? Next up, Crossfire. And I bet you're going, wait, what is that? Don't worry, most people don't know. Crossfire used to be a huge online shooting game, but mostly in other parts of the world. And honestly, it wasn't very good. There was even a version called Crossfire X that flopped so hard they shut it down. So when I heard that name again, my eyes rolled all the way back. But then, I actually watched the trailer. And okay, I'm listening. Because this new Crossfire isn't an online shooter at all. It's a story game. One player. You and a real adventure. And the people making it? They used to work on Call of Duty. And on The Last of Us. The studio's called That's No Moon. The story sounds wild. Two soldiers who are supposed to be enemies have to team up to survive a scary, mysterious threat. That's a cool idea. I won't lie. But here comes my warning. There's no release date. None. And teams stuffed with famous developers don't always make great games. Sometimes they make expensive messes. So I'm curious. I'm hopeful. But my wallet stays closed until they prove it. Show me. Don't tell me. Now this one got me. Alien Isolation 2. The first Alien Isolation came out way back in 2014, and a lot of people, me included, think it's one of the scariest games ever made. The idea is simple and terrifying. There's one alien. You can't kill it. You can only hide and run and pray. So for 12 years, we waited for a sequel. 12! And finally, at Summer Game Fest, here it is. The same team that made the first one is back. The big change this time? You're not trapped on a creepy space station anymore. Now you're down on a rainy, miserable planet, sneaking through an old company outpost while that monster hunts you. And it looks stressful. In the best way. But deep breath. Here comes the grumpy part. They did not show us much. A short, spooky trailer. No real gameplay. No release date. And they were sneaky about who you even play as this time. Is it Amanda Ripley again? Maybe? They're being mysterious on purpose. So look, I'm excited. The first game was special, but excited is not the same as buying. Let's see if the scares actually work before we celebrate, okay? Alright, gamers. Stellar Blade, Blood Rain. If you played the first Stellar Blade, you already know. It's fast. It's flashy. The sword fights are amazing, and the bosses hit like a truck. It was a surprise hit on PS5. So, a sequel? Yeah, that makes sense. And here's what's interesting. The team at Shift Up isn't just doing the same thing over again. Blood Rain drops you into a darker, cyberpunk-style world. Think glowing city lights, rain, and danger around every corner. There's a new main character this time, and the fighting is getting messier and more up close. More fists, more brutal moves, not just swords. They're also adding way more ways to customize your weapons, which I love. More toys equals more fun. So why am I not screaming with joy? Because, say it with me, it's aiming for 2027. Another faraway date, and a trailer can make any game look incredible. The real test is whether it feels good in your hands. The first game nailed that, so I'm leaning hopeful here. More hopeful than usual, actually. But I've been burned before. We all have. So enjoy the trailer. Wishlist it if you want, but keep that money in your pocket for now. The big one. The game that ended the whole show. Final Fantasy VII Revelation. Okay, story time. Final Fantasy VII is one of the most famous video games ever. A few years ago, Square Enix started rebuilding it as a giant trilogy. 3 huge games telling one epic story. We've had 2. And Revelation? This is the 3rd one. The finale, the big finish. And the trailer? Chef's kiss. It showed a huge open world you can explore by flying around in a legendary airship called the Highwind. 2 fan-favorite characters, Vincent and Cid, are finally playable. And there's a new battle system where your heroes can switch roles mid-fight. The crowd went absolutely bonkers. So what's my grumpy take? Honestly, I don't have a big one. Square Enix usually delivers on these. The first 2 were great. It's coming in spring 2027, and get this, it lands on basically everything day one. Not locked to one console. That's a player-friendly move, and I respect it. My only worry? Endings are hard. Wrapping up a story this massive is no joke. So I'm excited. Genuinely excited. But I'll save the party for when it actually arrives. Promise me you'll do the same. Okay, robot fans, gather round. Gundam Rogue Orbit. Now, if you don't know Gundam, it's a super famous Japanese series about giant robots called Mobile Suits, piloted by people in huge battles. It's been around for almost 50 years, and Bandai Namco just announced a brand new game. Here's the cool part. This one isn't tied to any of the old shows. It's a totally new story, in a new world, with a new pilot named REX and a robot called the Gundam Helix. So even if you've never watched a single episode, you can jump right in. The trailer? Big. Loud. Explosions everywhere. Your robot zooms around super fast, blasting enemies from far away, or slicing them up close. It honestly gives me Armored Core vibes. And if you know that game, that's a good thing. But you knew a but was coming. It's just a teaser. The release is way out in 2027. And Fast Giant Robot Game is a promise we've heard before that doesn't always feel as awesome as it looks. Some mech games get repetitive fast. Punch robot, yawn. So I want to see a real fun game underneath all those sparks. Bandai's making it themselves, which gives me a little hope. A little. Wishlist it. Don't worship it yet. Next, Guild Wars 3. And this is a big deal for a funny reason. Guild Wars is a giant online world. The kind where thousands of real players run around together fighting monsters and going on quests. And it's been a PC-only thing for over 20 years, but Guild Wars 3, for the very first time ever, it's coming to PlayStation 5. Console players have been locked out of this club forever, so that's actually really cool. The trailer looked gorgeous too, and bright, colorful, full of magic. And here's something I respect. Guild Wars has never made you pay a monthly fee just to play, which is super rare for these big online games. No sneaky pay every month or you're locked out. Good. But let me be real with you. This is an always online game. If your internet's down, so are you. And these massive online worlds can take years to get good. And sometimes they get stuffed full of extra stuff to buy. Oh, and the beta isn't even until fall of 2027. That's forever away. So I'm interested, especially because it's finally on console. But online worlds have to earn your trust slowly. I'll be watching, carefully, from a safe distance. Now here's one that genuinely surprised me. Blood Message. It's made by a company called NetEase. And normally, they make online multiplayer games, the kind that beg you to log in every single day and spend money. But this is the opposite. Blood Message is a single-player story game. Just you. A beginning, a middle, and an end. No daily chores, no live service nonsense. And honestly, I cheered a little. It's set in ancient China, way back in the year 848, and you play a regular messenger. Not some legendary hero, just an ordinary guy, traveling across a dangerous land with his young son to deliver one incredibly important message. That's a beautiful idea. And the trailer looked stunning. The fighting is fast and brutal with sneaking, climbing, and huge dramatic moments. People are already comparing it to Black Myth Wukong, which is high praise. So what's my grumpy worry? No release date yet. None. And a company's very first big single-player game is a risky thing. Sometimes they look amazing in a trailer, and play kind of clumsy. So I'm hopeful. Truly hopeful. This is the kind of game I beg companies to make, but I need to actually hold the controller before I throw a party. Alright, Swords of Legends. This one flew in out of nowhere for a lot of us in the West. But it's actually part of a long-running Chinese series called Gujian that's been going for years. The studio making it has been crafting Chinese fantasy adventures for almost 20 years, so these folks are not rookies. In this one, you play a kind of supernatural guide, an arbiter of the underworld, sent back to the world of the living to help lost souls find their way home. Spooky, mythical, and pretty unique. The combat looks flashy, like really flashy. Big flowing sword moves, glowing magic, and you can even summon spirit creatures to fight beside you and block attacks. They showed a wild boss fight against a magician based on real, old-school Chinese stage magic. That's a clever, fresh idea. Now, the grumpy part. There's no release date. And super flashy combat can sometimes be all show and no substance. Looks incredible, but feels like button mashing. I want depth, not just sparkles. And since this series mostly stayed in China before, I really hope the English version gets the care it deserves. So, cautiously curious. The style is cool. The mythology is cool. Let's just hope it plays as good as it looks. Star Wars Zero Company. Now, pay attention, because this one is different. Most Star Wars games are about swinging lightsabers or flying X-Wings. This is a thinking game. A strategy game. It's turn-based, and which means you carefully move your team one step at a time, like chess. But with blasters and explosions. It's heavily inspired by a famous series called XCOM. And get this, the people making it actually worked on those games, so they know their stuff. You play a leader named Hawks, building a ragtag squad of misfits during the Clone Wars. A clone trooper, a Mandalorian, a young Jedi, all kinds of characters. And yes, even Anakin Skywalker shows up for a bit. Between missions, you build your base and gather secret intel. That's my kind of game. And here's the best part. It's not some faraway dream. It launches August 27th, 2026. That's soon. But you knew it was coming. Pre-orders are already open. And you know my rule, do not pre-order. Ever. Wait for the reviews. Wait for real gameplay. It's only a short wait, so be patient and let it prove itself first. If it's good, we celebrate then. And here it is. The last one. Virtua Fighter Crossroads. Okay, quick history lesson. I promise it's short. Virtua Fighter is super old and super important. It came out way back in 1993, and it basically invented 3D fighting games. You know, two characters punching and kicking in a ring, but in real 3D. Legendary stuff, but here's the wild part. There hasn't been a brand new main Virtua Fighter in about 20 years. 20! So this is a massive deal. And the team making it? It's the studio behind the Yakuza games. And those folks are amazing at telling wild, emotional, sometimes goofy stories. Which brings me to the big surprise. Crossroads isn't just a fighting game anymore. It's got a full story mode. You walk around a city, meet characters, and brawl through the streets like you're in an action movie. There's a cool new fighter named Cielo who's gotten himself in trouble with the Mafia, and some old favorites are coming back too. So, do I love this idea? Honestly, I'm torn. Part of me is thrilled. A Virtua Fighter with a real story? Yes, please. But the grumpy part of me worries. When you change a classic this much, you risk losing the very thing that made it special in the first place. Oh, and it's not out until 2027. So, fingers crossed, cautiously hyped. Let's see if this gamble pays off. And that's all 11. Look, I've been gaming for over 20 years, and I've watched 100 showcases promise the moon. The truth? Half of these won't live up to the hype, and a couple might surprise us. That's just how this works. So do not pre-order. Wait for reviews, protect your wallet. Now I want to hear from you. Which reveal actually got you excited? Drop it in the comments. Smash that like if I saved you from a bad purchase, and subscribe. I'll see you at the next one.